I'm here to break it to you old timers. These 5-piece doors are dead. Today we're going to show you what's replacing them and how we build them in my shop. So I'm holding a typical 5-piece door here. This is just a shaker style door with a flat panel. Happens to have a little bevel here on the edge. This is like a sample that I received from one of my wood door suppliers a couple years ago. It's been kicking around the shop, and you can see here it does have a little bit of outside damage, but you see we've got some separation going on here. So this is a cope and stick door. Your stiles here are, they have what's called a sticking cut, which gives you this profile. Sometimes it's just square, but the sticking cut is on the stiles, and the rails have a sticking cut on the inside, and they have a cope cut on the outside. So the cope is the part that fits into that stick profile. So it is a mortise and tenon. It has this tenon built into it, but it's made from 5 pieces. You have 2 stiles, 2 rails. I like to think rail, a lot of people get confused between stiles and rails. Rail, left to right, RL. So that's how I remember rail. Rails go horizontal, stiles go vertical. And a center panel. In this instance, it's just a piece of, I guess, 3/8 inch veneer plywood. So this has a little bit of a rabbet cut on it, and it's fitting into the groove, which is here. And they have this little shadow line here on the back. A door like this, poses a lot of issues. So you could see we have separation here between the stile and rail. We're talking about painted doors here. I should preface everything with that. 5-piece door is still king for a stain grade door, but for painted, it's not. So let's say this door was painted white and this cracks. So you put it in the summertime, in the wintertime, it all shrinks up. We have this piece of wood, which is moving this way. This piece of wood, which is moving this way. So when this shrinks, we have a gap. On a white painted door, it's going to be so noticeable. You've all walked into kitchens and seen cracks all over the place in the face frames and the doors. It could really take a very nice, expensive kitchen and make it look really bad. Another issue with 5-piece doors is with bridging when you're painting. So here we have an actual gap. This panel and this door member are 2 separate pieces. So there's a space there. Same thing on the back. You might have a recessed panel like in the front or a shadow line like this. We need to get paint into here, and we need to finish that seam. Now here, the paint may bridge from the door member to the panel and get filled in, and if it's not consistent, you're going to see little gaps and cracks, and actually the bridging is something that will crack over time. So you have to be more careful when you're finishing to make sure that the paint doesn't bridge between the panel and the door. So lots of issues with a 5-piece door. Also, it's very time consuming to make. So this is made out of 5 pieces. That's 5 pieces that need to be processed. And you need to do calculations to make sure that your stiles and rails add up to be the correct width of the door. So, lot going on with the 5-piece door. So I'll show you what we've switched over to. We started buying doors like this, I want to say, maybe about 4 years ago. And within the last 6 months, we started making them ourselves since I got the CNC. I have 4 examples here. So we just cut these. We cut these in 10 minutes. That's how long it took. 4 doors, 1 foot by 1 foot, and 4 different stiles. So we have a beaded style here, a skinny shaker, a standard shaker, and a bevel. So this door is very similar to that door. Has a 1/4 inch drop versus a 3/8 inch drop, but that's all programmable on the CNC. You could change, your style and rail width, all that stuff. So, just a moment. Sorry about that. Just had a delivery of some drawers. You might be wondering how we machine these doors. What type of tools does the CNC use to actually cut these profiles? So each one of them is started off with a 40 millimeter pocketing bit. So that's a 40 millimeter diameter bit. That comes in and it hogs out the bulk of this center panel. So we have 3 different drops here. Drop meaning distance between the face and the top of the panel. So the skinny shaker here is an 1/8 inch drop. The reason this is an 1/8 inch drop is because for European hinges, we actually need 1 3/4 inch of 3/4 material to be able to fit the cup of the hinge. So, I'm sorry, not 3/4 material. We need at least, say, depending on the hinge, 13 to 15 millimeters of thickness. So if we were to go down to a 1/4 inch drop, we only have 12.7 millimeters there. It might not be enough. So that's why this is kept a little bit thicker. That way we can fit our hinges because we only have a 1-inch rail and stile. So we have an 1/8 inch drop here, 1/4 inch drop on these. So it hogs out that material. I have mine set to a raster, so it starts in the middle and it does a spiral. I think that's called a raster, I might be wrong. Tell me down below. So it does that first on all of these doors. Then it picks up a 7/16 inch down shear bit and it comes in. It takes a little bit of material, but what that does is it makes the radius in the corner smaller. So we went from a 20 millimeter radius to a 7/32 inch radius, half the diameter of the bit. So we have a tighter corner. Then it's going to pick up an 1/8 inch bit, and same thing, it's going to tighten up that corner. So on this door, we're done, aside from the outside cutout. So this is 3 tools plus your cutout tool. That's done. A door like this, it's going to then pick up a 60-degree bevel, which is a 1/2 inch diameter bit, and it's going to run this bevel. And it actually traverses down and then it comes up to get this sharp corner. So if it just stayed at the one height, you'd have a round corner. So it actually comes and it shapes this corner. With this door, it doesn't actually do the 1/8 inch bit down here on the panel, it does it at the top. So that's how we get our corners at the top here. And this is finished off with a 1/4 inch roundover bit. So we don't need it down here because the bit comes to a fine point. At the top, you would have a round corner. So that's actually cleared out by the 1/8 inch bit. And here, after the 1/8 inch bit, we have a 30-degree V-bit that comes and shapes these edges and again gives us that sharp corner. So like I said, 10 minutes to cut these doors. It's only 4 doors and they're fairly small, but lots of tool changes there because we're cutting 4 different profiles. All these could be done, maybe not skinny shaker, you could do it, but it would look crazy with a raised panel. So I haven't cut any raised panels yet, but again, it's just adding one more tool and then you're not pocketing out the middle. We don't get a lot of people asking for raised panel doors these days, but you know, it's just one more tool and it's a easy change to make on the door. So very simple. And the beauty of these is that there's nothing to crack. So this is one piece, no seams. The material we use is an HDM, so it's a high density machining grade MDF, super dense, and you know, this is right off of the machine. This is super smooth. We'll sand this with say 220 and then 400 and it's ready for primer. Break our edges, we're good to go. We don't do a back pocket, so you can pocket the back if you're having issues with your doors warping. Everything but super huge doors have been totally fine for us. We don't back pocket because then we're machining 2 sides of the material, which can, you know, lead to some alignment issues. But these are all totally flat on the back, which makes prep easy, painting easy, you know, having that flat back. I've heard people call these doors soulless, but to me, a painted door isn't something I think of as having soul anyway. And it's a good modern material, you know. If you think back to guys in even the 1600s, the first American furniture makers, if they had this material and they had that CNC, you can guarantee that they would be making their doors like this. You know, there is something to be said about beautiful handmade 5-piece doors in furniture, but you know, this is a business. It's a game of providing our clients with what they want for a budget that they can afford. So if we can provide a door like this that's going to last a very long time and stay looking exactly like it did the day we delivered it, that's good for us, it's good for the client, and we could do it at a price that's better for the client and more profitable for us. You know, if we're building a piece of furniture, we're going to build a nice, clear 5-piece door, be it walnut, white oak, whatever. But for painted, this is the way that we're doing it now, and we're going to do it for the foreseeable future. So we've done some custom profiles so far. These are just 4 that are stock profiles for us. So I actually buy these files from a guy named Phil Anton. If you're into mosaic, you've heard of Phil. He's you know, really a mosaic whiz, and he sells these programs or these door files, so you can just upload them into your mosaic and cut them. He's got a bunch of different profiles, and it makes it easy. You know, you pay $50 for the file, and you don't have to do any of the programming yourself, so it's sort of foolproof. Yeah, so let us know what you think. Are you old school and you're not going to give this up? Do you think I'm a hack for using doors like this? I want to know your opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried 1-piece doors, and if you're local, let me know. I can probably make some for you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Maybe we'll stitch in some long footage of the CNC cutting at the end here. Yeah, let us know about these doors, and we'll talk to you next week.